Guys, we did not go live in the stream at the start of the show, but we're going to make up for that because my producer is going to put us in the stream. We're going to come right back. Stick, stay, don't go away. We'll be back with more of Straight Talk.
Get ready for an unforgettable experience. The Elf Carafa Shrine Circus presents the all-new Glow 2.0 Spectacular Circus at the Dow Event Center, January 23rd through the 25th. Witness the thrilling globe riders, talented gauchos from Argentina, a mind-blowing magician, and gravity-defying high wire walkers. Enjoy laughter with our beloved clowns, bringing joy to the entire family. Affordable and family-friendly, this is an experience you won't want to miss. Visit glowcircus.com for tickets. Join us at the Glow 2.0 Shrine Circus, where excitement awaits.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Are you always on the hunt for a good bargain? Well, we've got all kinds of activities to keep you busy inside all winter long at RocketGrabPlus.com. Great deals from local businesses like BC Golf Simulation, Poker Face Aesthetic Club, Crossbows from Bay Archery, Saginaw Escape, and Saginaw Jelly Ball. It's cold outside, but the deals and savings are hot. Visit RocketGrabPlus.com for all the details today.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Light a candle, pour some wine. Grab a roll, the soft kind for a little me time. Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear. Wavy edges for my rear. So let the softness caress your soul. Just relax, you're on a roll. Let her rip. Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear.
Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear has the same softness you love, now with wavy edges that tear better than the leading one-ply brand. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Entertainment Insider, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Award season is here, and there's a lot of buzz around Ethan Hawke and his role in the movie Blue Moon. He said it's hard to tune out the noise, but
I have to hold it in balance and be really grateful to be at this age doing this long and have that conversation even exist.
And now, a Progressive ad brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Drivers who switch to Progressive could save big. See if you could save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE or Progressive.com.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from IQBar. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at eatiqbar.com/policy/terms of service.
I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQBar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Now you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping when you text IQ Bar to 64,000. Text IQ Bar to 64,000 to get your 20% off. That's IQ Bar to 64,000.
Agnes was in deep trouble with the IRS.
I owed the IRS a lot of money.
She found out about Optima Tax Relief.
They guaranteed me that they were going to help me out the best that they can. And they did.
Optima stopped the IRS.
Optima Tax took care of everything.
Are you in deep trouble with the IRS? You might want to listen to Agnes.
I will refer Optima Tax Relief to anyone.
Call Optima right now for your free consultation. Call 800-968-9022. 800-968-9022.
Optima Tax Relief.
For details, visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to more of Straight Talk. We are here in the studio, and I'm bringing in individuals that are out there. If you see the young man at the bottom, that is my brother in arms. No one other than Yafancio Big B Harris. What's good, Big B?
What's happening? What's happening, man?
Man, just out here making things go. We are excited here in Saginaw about what you are going to bring to our city when we look at our conference coming up on February the 21st, our very first CVI conference in the community. What's good with you, man? What's going on with you?
Man, working, trying to bring the people together, man. Build better communities, working.
All right, now, B, I met you through our statewide council on community violence intervention.
Correct.
And it was interesting because I saw you come in this huge, what some people might say menacing presence coming in. You are definitely noticeable when you walk into the room. And I sat back and I just listened to what you were saying, and I was super impressed by your handle of the knowledge, your experience, and your ability to story tell.
Most definitely.
Why don't you share with the folks a little bit about who you are, and what makes you an expert on having these conversations about how we make change happen in our community as it relates to gun violence?
You fancy your Big B Harris, man. Born and raised in Arkansas, migrated to Michigan years ago. Community member, homeowner. Just putting down some principles of what my life lessons was to me and how my blessings came as I transformed. Transformation takes investment. So I wanted to really help individuals out and not just a dollar amount, not just a new shirt or something to eat, but longevity, sustainability, So I wanted to create something to change the mindset that was driving some of the behavior that I was around in my community. And that's what I engaged in. That's what I educated and elevated myself in. And I don't gatekeep a thing. I give the wisdom and knowledge to the next one, and whatever they do with it, I bless them with it. You hear me?
Man, that's what I love. I love the fact that you said that you don't gatekeep, you share that information.
Yes, correct.
And when they come on to this conference here in Saginaw on February 21st, it'll be at 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Thompson Middle School. We will have individuals coming in from across the state that are part of our council. Let's talk a little bit about your particular organization that you've been working with over there in the zoo.
I'm the executive director of Peace During War, which I've been engaging in for a long time with my partner Michael Wilder. We warred in the streets back when we was running the streets. His friend killed a cousin of mine, and beef was going on before that. Um, and it had to be a line drawn. Everybody went to prison. While we out here hating each other, the police circling the block trying to get all of us. So everyone went to prison. One of the first visit in prison. I was taught to survive prison before I had ever seen the rental lease paper to get my own place. So my grooming came from my neighborhood. My people loved me, but they gave me what they had, and those were survival techniques. So with Mike Wilder with Peace During War, what we did is just start volunteering to kind of mentor the youth to talk about our reconciliation and try to be a blueprint for peace to let individuals know that somebody got to stop. We all done lost enough. Somebody got to put the guns down. Somebody got to be reasonable enough. But without the gift of forgiveness, without a higher knowledge of self and believing in yourself and knowing who you are, it's kind of hard to get through to that. So I created a program with an entity I work with called Change of Status. Urban Alliance is the major hub of resource for that. And that's why I work on the mindset that drives the behavior amongst men. Um, 900 to 1,000 individuals get out of prison every month here. So imagine how many go in. That bus leave every week to that penitentiary is such a big thing. That school to prison pipeline is fueling and feeding itself from our communities. So I want to put a damper in that. I want to reach back and come get some of the individuals from our communities. I want to be a vessel of God and just, do great work, do awesome work. And so that's what I'm doing over here. That's how I came into this thing with Peace During War. Urban Alliance has blessed me with an amazing platform to believe in my skills. I'm a program manager over there. We're reaching plenty of individuals. My team, my CVI team, Alejandro, Dominica, Charday, Don Henfield, can't do it without him. My big brother, my little brother, Mike Wilder, and my brother, Mike Monroe. We just, no one man is greater than his team. I got to shout out all my people that's keeping this wheel greased up because no one man is great. We cannot do this work alone. We have to form a partnership of entities and create an ecosystem of support to make sure we are catering to our people, man, because this thing is deep. I'm talking from mental health deep to physical health deep. So
B, you said something. You talked about how there was a violation that someone had. I think someone killed your cousin.
Correct.
And how do you begin to have conversation about moving forward with that kind of a loss? Because a lot of young people today say, you got one of mine, I got to get one of yours.
It ain't something that just jump out the woodwork. I didn't know about healing back then. I didn't know about other things. When I had time to sit down and look at my life, reflect on my life, I dug into me. Prayer and scripture are independence from you. All you got to do is make whatever happen you want to make happen. You can get money and hustle up to send home and keep the same attitude and ego as you had when you came in, or if you could stack honey buns and soaps and trade it for things and make a life out of impossible things. So if we could do all that, if we could work that hard, then why can't I work on myself? Why don't I work on something that's going to guarantee me a win? Instead of being a guy that goes to a house, a young mother sees her son come out the house and get in the car with me. She can't even get him to go to school, but I can get him to shoot out the window at somebody and blow him down for me. I wanted to kill that mindset and that concept, man. You know what I'm saying? The people I groom, individuals I groom doing life with no parole right now, we thought we was having so much fun, barbecuing and celebrating victories or street wars, all for nothing. All for nothing. Came back to that same block and then own a thing. You know what I'm saying? Had to start all over from scratch, and the individuals who was once upon a time with me had migrated and moved on or got killed or still in prison serving time. That ain't what I see for myself, and that ain't what I see for the people I love or the people I claim I love. I see different, I see better, and that's what I strive for.
Bro, when you say that you had to begin to work on yourself, it wasn't easy.
Correct.
Somebody once told me that the pathway to success starts with self-discovery.
Most
So that's a powerful statement that you made there. I also want to talk to the young man that's in the stream here in the studio with me, my brother Antonio Brooks. Those of you out there in social media land know that he is the man that is always talking about the young people in the community. He hails as the director of youth engagement and substance use engagement, excuse me. So I want to just, Antonio, you're here. You had an opportunity to meet Big B at the gun conference a few months ago back by the Burn Skip organization, state police. What is the thing that continually keeps you moving, not giving up on these young people, seeing the crazy decisions that are made, but showing up every day to make a difference?
Shout out to Big B, man. So
Thank you, brother.
What I seen at that conference from Big B was the bravery that it took for two people that was rivals to figure out a way to communicate, reconcile, and figure out a way to help the community versus tearing it down. And going with the back and forth, you take one of mine, I take one of yours. That's the problem that we have with our young people. They don't know how to effectively resolve a conflict without violence. So that's what we sticking to and trying to, kind of help them navigate through.
Okay, when we talk about this, I'm thinking about something. B, you were talking about being able to work on yourself. Antonio comes in, he's talking about being able to walk away and to do something different. How do we communicate that to young people when so many grown men struggle with letting things go, struggle with saying I'm sorry, struggle with being strong enough to walk away to live another day? How do we begin to effectuate change in a community when that is the essence? Hey, man, you stepped on my shoes. What are we going to do about it? Where do we begin that conversation?
Well, we create environments where we can share ideologies. We create spaces where it's safe to talk about things without feeling ashamed. Man, I'm gonna tell you something, man. It's a word out there that's claiming a lot of lives. You know what I'm saying? And you don't got to be a certain individual to do this. You could be anybody. It's called real nigga. To be a real nigga is a hell of a trophy for a lot of people. I myself was big, so I was told I couldn't cry, couldn't smile. I had to react to things a certain way. And a lot of our kids right now are saying the same thing. And I'm gonna tell you something. We have a great heart just coming back to reach out for these people. But it's individuals with billions of dollars who are tapping into the mindset of these individuals through phones, through music, and through countless other endeavors to try to navigate them towards the way that they want. Uh, you'll never see brothers who really love their community pushing for violence or not getting the individual around a situation where he cannot teach them how to stand down. A young man can't be what he can't see. And if he is in if he in the world, if he swamped around individuals where he had to survive every day, he hear what you told him. But what's his perception of and his reality is totally different than what you're talking about. So engaging in them and inviting them to spaces where these behaviors can be practiced and they have someone they can call on that maybe even get labeled a mentor. And we got to be, we got to be fluent and we got to be very into being productive with these because a mentor open their life up to an individual. So if that individual calling you at 1 a.m., you got to be able to make time for them. Like you got to know how to be for a person you really trying to help induct change into because change, we're not a robot. We don't just, a program don't fix you. You know what I'm saying? We don't just get an individual in the room and tell them 2 or 3 things and voila, you're done, you're fixed, you're out the oven, you baked the new cake. Now these things takes time and progression, and sometimes it's their environment that's keeping them um fueling the system of thoughts that they already have. So we try to help change the mindset with the conversations and with the programming, but we also try to help navigate the individual through their community because that's where they face their real challenges when they with their peers.
All right. Go ahead, bro. Were you gonna say something?
I just want to say something. I'm so in the juvenile. I was there today. I'm there, every week, and I talk to these young men and women. Man, surprisingly, I had a lot of young ladies today, and what we was talking about was loving yourself. I asked them the question: do you love yourself? You will be surprised how many of them don't. So I tell them, how can you? Well, if you don't love yourself, how can you protect what you don't love? You only really protect what you love, right? So we need to start working on self-esteem, confidence. Me and Miss Amaya work on that with them kids, man. It's amazing how they transform, but it starts from within. You know what I mean? But if they don't love themselves, they can't love their brother. They need to, you know what I'm saying? We got to teach them that.
That's real.
I want to ask the question to both of my brothers that are here today. Big B, so many people look up to you and the work that you are doing. I didn't even know you. I don't know if you're younger than me or older than me, but what I do know is that you became a big brother. I say big brother because when you see him in a room, dude towers over everything. But you give off major big brother energy. The connection was real. I said, hey, we're going to link up. Every single time I do that, you are right on it. And I'm saying this to those who are listening because you are literally being pulled across the country to have these conversations. What is the thing that fuels your passion for the work that you're doing?
Uh, to be honest, brothers just like Mr. Brooks that's in the room with me, seeing other individuals that's in their community trying, knowing what we up against. We up against a big monster, man. Like the system is designed, like these kids are born into these mazes. Here we are trying to critique things and fix things with minute tools. One of our biggest tools is our mindset and our conversation. So we have to make that look attractive because the folks that's up against us, they giving our millions of dollars to say, I'll kill 6 of y'all right now even if you ain't doing it. They just need you to rap about it to influence others. They giving them money right now. They glorifying them right now. So all that's cool. Wordplay is cool, but we want our kids to know that a lot of that stuff is entertainment. It's entertainment. That's one of the things that fuel me. The other thing that fuel me is my team, individuals around me and myself, knowing what they've been through. Most of them been incarcerated for countless for years, and yet they still transform and came back. They back the Cobb to get their people. They transformed and found a way, and they came back to get their peoples, the kids and the adults, and they believe in community. And there are countless other things that influence me. My kids, empower me. I wish I had a daddy. I didn't have a daddy. I wonder what it was. A woman taught me how to fish and how to protect. I got the game from a woman. That's why I'm big on women empowerment. That's how I was groomed. I was groomed through the women. People always call me a gentleman, even though I was a G, but it always been in me. And I think that's why I got my gift for forgiveness, forgiving myself for who I was and laying that character down so that this new character can emerge and discover new things about myself and experience a better life and what I'm gracing others with. So that's some of the things that motivate me is the spirits of good brothers like Mr. Brooks, my team, any individual from pastors to mentors, school teachers. So many school teachers deal with a lot showing love to these kids, man. They go above and beyond. A lot of schools have reached out to me. These are individuals that work there that's reaching out for these kids. They go home and feed their cat every day and they sit back and they wonder, how is they students doing inside those environments that they have to live in? That's huge, man. When someone really cares about you, So that really fuels my passion. Not no money, not no hee hee ha ha's or pat on the back, none of that. Seeing others, willing to you know connect together and try to do something great for our community, that's big to me. I love it.
Brian Carter said something out in the stream that I think is important for us to take a look at, because you talked about how music and entertainment. I'm going to say it that way. I'm not going to say hip hop. I'm going to say music and entertainment, because we have learned recently that our music industry has been hijacked by folks, the same people who are making money off of you being in prison.
Right.
So there are a lot of executives that, when we came out with the concept of hip hop and they were telling stories about what was happening in the hood, right, in the ghetto, that they took that and say, hey, there is an industry here that we can make money from. But then, as it was hijacked, the stories about what was happening in the community that bred to a sense of positivity, self-love, empowerment, and being hijacked became whoever raps about the craziest thing, because shock and awe sells, right? That's who we're going to produce. Whoever talks about the most bodies, that's who we're going to produce. And real artistry is now being hijacked by what is monetarily beneficial to an industry that is not a part of the community from which that music comes. Let's talk about that.
For sure. I I look at it all inducted into the school to prison pipeline. The age of reason in the state of Michigan, 7 years old, they could put our children in handcuffs. The school to prison pipeline just based off them being able not to read, being not able to read correct on the third grade level. They already banking that they gonna be making decisions in their adult life, that can land them in prison. And they coming to our kids with all this money coming from these environments. They not in no position to turn down all that money. So when you ask the average young person that's in the streets drilling and doing all these things what he want to be, he want to be that rapper. He want to be that person that gets that immediate gratification, that ball player, things like that. He don't see the young man we see in him yet. And how can he when he's swamped with these mirages, of entertainment, making it look like it's cool. Yet we go home every day and worry about the pain that they get up and run to, because it could claim their life any day. So when you start talking about the future, some people don't see the future. They see the future for a personal thing of what they want for as money being attached to it, but they don't see the future for as what stability and support looks like, and those are the things. That's why we talk about community, because when all you know is the hood, it's hard to believe in a community, you know.
I want to say this because you talked about the future, and so many times I'm sure each of us have spoken to young people who said, man, I don't even see myself in the future. I don't have a future. So you trying to get me to sacrifice for something that I don't even think I have the luxury of.
Correct.
How do we share, for those who are not in these spaces, the dire need we have for folk to give up some of their time to help young Black men, young Black girls, Black and brown kids recognize that there is support, that the future is not this far away place, but they have a future. They have the potential to have a future. The concept that young people don't believe that they have a future to many people is foreign. Let's talk about how real that is.
Correct. We not the boys in the hood no more. We the men in the city. So if our city ain't jumping and pumping with what we need, what's going on, that's because all the men sitting on the bench and we just giving our conversation, who's snitching or who making the most money or who the hottest rapper. We grown men now, so we have to understand that if we don't figure out where we see our life at, a person can ask themselves, how long do you want to live? If we don't figure out where we see our life at, how can we have the wisdom and the knowledge and the discipline to help navigate another youngster with theirs as well? Mr. Brooks said he going inside the juvenile home. That's a big step. How many people standing in line to go inside the juvenile and share some wisdom on? It's hard for me to get some of these older men to pass out a free hamburger and a hot dog, but they don't want to be seen doing too much positive. It's trying to pick up because a lot of rappers, I gotta say this, a lot of rappers from Michigan are really stepping up to do something in their communities. Whether they walking that walk, that's up to them. But far as letting them know the importance of it, they are doing it. They are engaging. I'm watching some of the social media. Uh, so a lot of support is coming in on the back end. But we not the boys in the hood no more. We the men in the city. So if we don't start talking about what our city looks like in the future for us as a whole, and how can we talk about community? Because community is having our own cleaners, the community is having our own restaurants, the community is having our own music store or space so that these kids can put on talent shows to even discover their talent, to even invest in that studio time, bringing them in the studio, letting them see what it's really like, letting them see that it's not just gonna fall in your lap. You got to put that work in. You understand me? But we do have a lot of positive kids out here who are doing a lot of great things with the leadership. Sometimes it's just a mom, and so I want to shout out them too, because there's so much toxic going on. The kids that's doing right hardly even get a shout out, because everybody's talking about who's doing what's wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure I acknowledge those individuals that are reaching and grasping for something different. And to speak on it, that's why I speak on it the way I speak on it, because I don't have the answer for everything, but I am big on unifying with individuals and finding out a formula that's healthy for whatever city I'm helping navigate in, because what's good and healthy for us may be something totally different for you. Your murder rate might be higher. Those dudes might be out there hunting for bodies. We might have to come a little harder for them. We might have to change up the ingredients for them, and we got that. We ready for it all. So I'm coming and I'm bringing some of that conversation to the stage with me. But if we don't unify, good brother, if we don't come together in our city, man, and stop worried about who doing the most or who doing the least and who ain't doing what, if we all don't just find a lane to play that's gonna help water the root of what we're trying to do here, it's gonna be hard for anything to come out on top, and we'll just be talking about the same subject next year this time.
No, that's real talk. We're going to take a commercial break, but before we do that, I just want to remind everyone that Big B is going to be here in Saginaw on February 21st. That is a
Correct.
Saturday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Correct.
He said something that's super powerful. He said that we may not have all the answers. And one thing, Saginaw is number 2 in the state for gun violence, behind Benton Harbor. Third place is Detroit. Per capita, this is absolutely crazy. We don't have all the answers here. That's why we're reaching out to my man on the west side of the state who has the experience. He's going to bring his team. We're going to be our brothers and sisters from Detroit, all of the organizations. We're going to talk about that. When we come back from this commercial break, I want to ask you both to prepare for this question. We are now community builders. Let's talk about we're community planners. We're going to design and share what is necessary for us in our communities to have powerful communities. Let's talk about that. What does it look like? What do we need to do? How do we move from where we are to where we need to go? We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Happy New Year! This is Andy the Mitsubishi Guy at Showcase Mitsubishi Bay City with a New Year's resolution you're going to love. Our goal is to sell more new Mitsubishis in 2026, so we're going to make it super easy to upgrade to a new Mitsubishi for a lot less. Bring us any trade in any condition. Don't even wash it. We'll give you top dollar for your old car toward the purchase of a new Mitsubishi, even if you still owe thousands. Right now, get up to $7,000 off MSRP on all 2025 Outlander third row all-wheel drive SUVs, or 0% for up to 72 months with the Showcase Mitsubishi 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Our aggressive lenders will push to approve your credit, even if it's less than perfect. Get pre-approved right now at showcasemitsubishi.com with no effect on your credit score. Get massive savings at Showcase Mitsubishi Bay City, the #1 Mitsubishi dealer in Michigan for customer experience 4 years in a row. And now, the #1 dealer in America for customer experience.
0 APR is $13.89 per thousand financed. Offers not combined with approved credit.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Jane Dawson did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With the money she saved, she got herself a pricey bird feeder with an ultra-high-def camera. Should Jane have just bought a regular bird feeder? Yes. Is it hard for her to admire nature when the camera doubles as the bird's potty? Also, yes. But it's Jane's savings, and if she wants to spend her time watching the digestive habits of the white-breasted nuthatch, we say you go, girl. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for Dupuis Corner Bistro and Cafe located on North Michigan Avenue in Carlton. Enjoy good food, good drinks, and good times with a $50 certificate for only $25. Try their homemade pizza, fantastic salads and sandwiches, unique appetizers, coffee, smoothies, and so much more. Head over to RocketGrabPlus.com now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com. It's Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on Kiss 107.1.
This is Kareem, and you're back with more of Straight Talk. We are having a conversation with Afonso Big B Harris in the studio, and my man Antonio Brooks, Director of Youth and Substance Use Engagement for Help CBI. All right, brothers, before the break, we were talking about what needs to change in our community, and I want you to put your community planner, community builder hats on. Let me know what you think is essential for our communities to really turn the corner of what we're seeing happening every day, and to really build these spaces where we can thrive and do great things.
Me.
Yeah.
So, as you said, I'm the director of youth engagement and substance use awareness for the youth in our community. Been given a lot of education out. Didn't know that so many people in the community that's been riddled with drugs has so little education about it. But the fact that we started doing this about 2 years ago, right? The drug awareness and everything. So the overdose rate of the fatalities have went down by 34% since then. I just think more education, bro, and more of what we already doing.
Man, that's powerful. All right, Big B, lay it on me, my man. I'm sure this is something you've thought about before.
Yeah, but ecosystems, bro. You know, this not easy. If this was easy, our fathers before us would have accomplished it and not fought for it the same way we still fighting for it right now. You know, so it's going to take a lot on the legislative side. That's why I appreciate Force Detroit and other individuals who are moving alongside of them on the legislative side. Yeah, for sure. You know, trying to get things going to accompany us and make it fair enough for us to receive benefits and things that can make it a lot more life living for individuals who are trying, and then support the community as a whole for individuals who don't know because they can't be what they can't see. And moving from that, is to keep on with it, like you said, promoting education. To educate is to elevate. If you don't evolve, you become extinct. The world is evolving. What's happening right now, what's going on right now. We want to keep our individuals influenced. Depression is real. When people lose a person to this gun violence, or any type of violence, it's real. It eats away at you. If you never talked to a parent that lost a child before, it's gonna be hard to sit in the room. You know, and we need other things outside of our education, like safe spaces in the public. That's why I appreciate the boots on the ground brothers all through the state, all through the United States that's out here moving to ensure events being held to give back to the community and making that space a safe space. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's Halloween while the kids trick or treat, or anything, they're engaging, they getting out there, and as we help improve those accesses to those resources, getting individuals to engage in those resources, um, making it making it look good for them. That other stuff look good to them. It come with bling and all type of false promises and false images. We coming real. And once again, those people got a lot of money to make that stuff happen. They not giving no money for us to, stop this here, stop drugs or stop kill. They not giving no money for that. They making too much money off our people, that get caught up in the rapture of it. So I feel like when we got those things right there, we got some great fundamentals to keep on moving along. As a community, our biggest superpower is togetherness, is collaboration. You know what I'm saying? Many hands, many minds, same goal.
Man, bro, the spirit of collaboration is key to so much that we need to unlock in our community. When we realize that there are some things that we got to take an L on for the betterment of the group, when we understand that we got to put the right people in the right place.
Most definitely.
If we need a right-handed person, we got to stop using left-handed individuals to do right-hand work.
Most definitely.
And so many times in our community, we see that taking place. But I want to ask this question, my man. I want to talk about the intersectionality of poverty, of fatherlessness, race, politics, and how all of these things, including a number of other things, are essential to address as we talk about solving crimes in our community. Because there are people that will say, if there were more fathers in the home, we wouldn't have this issue. But the reality of it is part political. Oftentimes in our community, we are, what do you call, the experiments of political moves and maneuvers. It's intentional. It's racial. Let's talk about that. I saw your eyes light up.
Once again, we work with like Fatherhood Network and the individuals who have like the Dad Cafe and things like that. I feel like when I started doing outreach, I had this thing where we would get invited to the police station so they could talk about the violence in the community and navigators who were needed to help detour individuals from being locked up in juvenile or prison. And they said that with what we had created, they were starting to believe that they couldn't lock their way up to a solution. They said that because they had seen great great granddaddies in the books, to the granddaddy in the book, to the daddy in the book, to now the son in the book, and so who's next. The son's son. Correct. So that data is true. That data is correct. How can we ignore it? But my fight is doing something about it, as in allowing them to give us a chance to do something about it with those equal resources that we need to make a community. There's so much systemic racism is embedded into this thing to try to stop our growth as a whole, as a people, that it gets even deeper, conversation. But I'm sure I ain't preaching to the choir. I'm sure you already know that. And once again, that's why I gave a shout out to individuals who are on the legislative side, because the the fork in the road will come for individuals who start moving up. They say it's easy to jump out the car and commit a crime and go to jail where you don't have no rent. You don't have to pay for anything to eat. You just go to child. But out here, it costs to live and it costs to die. So how do we understand what is money? How does the money move? And how do we just major at learning how to use it on those expenses instead of being gravitated towards things that just throws money in the air, throws money all over your body, but ownership is little to none. So those things are key things in having a community. Ownership is key. Ownership is big. But once again, if we have inequalities, if we have injustice, it makes it difficult for us to win. They're not playing fair. And that's why I believe in collaboration, because one voice might be loud, but all of us in the room, we finna make something happen.
Bro, when you see what's going on in the U.S. at this time, I was talking on another show that I have, and I said, we've dealt with racism before, no big deal. We have seen a hatred of our people, of the melanin in our skin, simply because we Black and beautiful. But what I have never seen in my lifetime is a degradation of the rights and the privileges that we have fought for in the 60s, 70s, and the 80s. I've never lived in a time when a real threat to our rights, our liberties are being attacked the way they are right now, and yet having to deal with the issues in our community. So when you talk about funding, it's funny that people talk about they are pro-life, and they want to bring all of these babies into the world. But when we see men who are living, trying to pay for kids, trying to have a way of living and taking care of themselves and those things that are important, where is that agenda for pro-life? A lot of what we're dealing with is interesting to me, because you talked about resources. They will give us resources when we're in an 8x8 cell, but won't give us resources to take care of ourselves or resources to put into our communities. It is a fight to do this work. They will put a small amount of money into a pot for all of the communities who need this work to fight over, instead of saying, we could save the money we're paying $50,000 chasing ICE workers and take that same money and fund programs in our community. Let's talk about the injustices of where the dollars come and how it is a real wet blanket on us really trying to make this happen.
I'm gonna let Mr. Brooks give some insight.
Wow, that's powerful. Well, speaking on that, man, I never thought that I'd see this time where so many of our rights that we did fight for are being violated and taken away, as if it's something that never happened. You know what I mean? So, like my big brother was saying, that school to prison pipeline is real. So if you limit opportunities and resources to a certain group of people, they're gonna resort to only what they know, and then they're gonna start doing things that can possibly get them incarcerated and taken away from their family. So it's like a trap.
Well, I mean, there's this thing that psychologists and folks have anthropologists talked about, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That if a man or a woman doesn't have those essential things that they need to live, to survive, and to be viable, then we find these other things. My statement earlier was leading me to this place, and this is not these brothers. This is me saying this. It seems that folks in our community are often put in a situation that they are given just enough to where they won't suffocate, just enough to give them one more chance above the water, instead of really giving them tools that are essential to really live in a viable way, to be fruitful and productive citizens in our communities. I want you, brothers, we only have a few minutes left, but Big B, I want you to just kind of share, what are some of the things that you are looking to bring to the Saginaw community, to share, to impart to those who come to our first inaugural CVI conference here?
Man, I'm planning to bring some conversation around this community violence intervention. We got to start intervening. in these situations. We
Wait,
can't sit back.
bro, share what that means, because there's a lot of people who don't understand what that really means.
Man, community violence intervention is us attacking the violence that's going on in our community, intervening in these situations. Once again, we not the boys in the hood no more. We the men in the city. So if we got any type of clout, if we got any type of pull with these youngsters, it shouldn't be to navigate them through the murky waters of inducing violence on other individuals. It should be to stopping the violence on other individuals. And it's hard, it's hard. When they have emotions that they don't know how to control. Emotions is just information. They might get a phone call and say, "Cuz just got killed." They're gonna strike. They're gonna react. And not only just them, they got one phone call to make, and it's gonna be 4, 5 other individuals who have mothers, who have fathers, who have brothers, who have sisters that's gonna get in that car and go out and repeat crimes back and forth because that's what they was taught. That's what they was taught, and that's what they see. As soon as you cut the TV on, the hottest YouTube. This may not go viral in 2 hours or 2 days. You know what I'm saying? Like a Drewski skit. This is good conversation with great information, but it don't push the fact that it don't push violence. We ain't out here talking about take a life or nothing like that. What we up against as a whole in community violence is individuals actually um making it seem as if you listen to your big homie, you soft. If you have a big homie who talking to you like that, he washed up and he can't handle it. The streets is not the only goal. The streets run about a mile or two radius. Outside of that, they have no idea, give no care about what you're talking about because those mindset are investing in other things, keeping up with the world. And that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to turn the dial. We're trying to turn the dial all the way up and put them on the right tune, to save that life. We have to be intriguing with other thoughts. You know what I'm saying? We have to be intriguing with other things that actually can be taking place in their life. If I ask you to put down that gun, what am I giving you?
That's deep. My bro Antonio, you are here. You had an opportunity. We are opening new spaces to our community because we have never been in the conversation about community violence intervention. But we're now moving into a space. You're being exposed to new things. Fred, Zoe, Force Detroit, D Live, all of these organizations across the state that are doing great work. You've been in that space listening. What is it that you hope to hear, to see, to be empowered by? What is it that you hope our big homie, our big brother brings to the community?
His story, because his story needs to be heard. Oftentimes I talk to these young people that's in the streets, and I talk to them about intervening, about when they're talking about ops. You don't have to handle your problems with violence all the time, right? But they worry about what the outsiders gonna think about them squashing beef or whatever. So they're gonna be looked at as soft. But when they hear that story about him, and I think his boy name is Mike.
Yeah.
Yes.
They hear that story, that's probably gonna give them a little bit more confidence to be able to say, you know what, we can work on this. Let's communicate in a different way so we can build in our community. Hopefully, that's what I hope they get out of it.
All right. And Big B, just so you know, man, I know you're coming up early. We're putting you up early. We're trying to do some things to give you an opportunity to get in front of some of these young cats, to have a conversation. I'm excited about you coming. I hope that when you come, you realize that you are at home, and that you impart
Appreciate that
wisdom into our hearts, man. Honestly, we are in a position right now in Saginaw that if we don't see change, our very existence is being threatened. There are some billion-dollar projects that are on the table, but if we remain a violent city and we stay at the top of that list, there's no way that they are going to bring those dollars in our community. So violence is essential to our life and our future. Most people think that it's only the people in the street, the only people that live in the hood or a certain area code. But the fact of the matter is violence affects the entails of violence, impacts everybody in a community. The businessman, the hospital, the doctor, the lawyer, every school is impacted by the entails of violence. I'm going to give this last 60 seconds to you. Let me know what it is that you want to say as you give your final shout out.
I just want individuals to know, it costs the city $1.7 million every time somebody died. This public information. You can pull this up. Show them how you can save a life. Show them how we can save the city money so room for other things to come in, and show them why you want your people on the table for being instruments of making those projects healthy for their community. You know, they say one of the largest instruments of oppression is to pervert an individual to the point that they begin to oppress themselves, meaning nobody has to be in their way anymore. Their mindset is driving their behavior. That's what we're trying to interrupt. We out here to save our babies, your babies, the babies of the world. We're trying to save our people. And that's huge. That's big. That's a big thing to want to do and want to invest in. You know, so I ask people to stand with this CVI as it moves, as it's in motion. I ask people to stand with Brother Brooks, his team, and any other individuals out here, boots on the ground, that's trying to do something to help save a life of these young individuals. They deserve that. They deserve somebody speaking for them and standing tall for them, even before they understand what life has for them.
All right, I'm gonna ask my producer to throw up that image really quick for those who are out there listening. I want to make sure that you have all of the information you need. There goes Big B up there standing tall. Our inaugural Community Violence and Intervention Conference. And I'm excited about it coming to Thompson Middle School. We got classroom sessions, breakout sessions, all of the stuff. Come be empowered. We'll serve lunch. We are going to have a special session. We want the youth to be involved and empowered at the same time. I want you all to take care of yourselves and each other. God bless you all. Grace and peace.
You've been listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1. The views and opinions expressed on Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen by the host, its guest, or call-ins do not necessarily represent the opinion of this station, the staff, its owners, Alpha Media USA, or its advertisers.
Broadcasting live from the KISS Gower Law Studios. Get the power of Gower. GowerLaw.com.
Can I take my headphones? Can you hear me outside the stream? Bro, can you hear me?
Hey, thank you, bro.
Man, I appreciate you. We're looking for you to get here. That official letter should be coming to you this.
There we go. That official letter what?
Official letters coming. When you come, I want to make sure we maximize you being here.
Okay.
So there is a group of young people